This is Lou Anarumo's first shot and running the defense of the Indianapolis Colts, and it's going to be against a really good offense with a bunch of weapons. Tyreek Hill and Waddle and Tua, and they're all healthy. And then offensive line, it isn't shabby. This presents a lot. And what do you want to do with Tua? You want to get him to move, right? You want to move him out of the pocket, and that's got a lot to do with Latu Latu. Latu Latu, one of the guys that was a subject of a couple of questions to Lou Anarumo. Interesting to hear what he has to say about Latu. Here's one thing about Lou Anarumo that we do know over the course of the last 7 months listening to him, that he is very, very static, that he is very, very even keel, that he is demanding, and he is a serious defensive coordinator. He's not there glad-handing, and he's not there trying to win a popularity contest. What he's trying to do is get this defense ready to play. We'll see if he's able to do it.
Daniel Jones, obviously the starter at quarterback for a lot of the reasons of stuff that won't show up on a box score, getting guys in the right area, the chemistry with teammates, just all these little intangibles. So from your perspective on the opposite side of the ball, how has he posed any challenges for you on the practice field?
Well, I mean, you're getting a guy that's played in a lot of games, has a lot of snaps, been successful. I think he'll go out there. It won't be his first rodeo, as they say. And I think as you mentioned, the chemistry and that stuff will continue to grow as the season goes on.
Chap, go ahead.
Lou, with expectations, I mean they rise with where you were in the draft. Your expectations for Latu this year, first round pick last year, second year. What do you expect? What do you need from him?
Well, I just think that he can just continue his development. What we've seen both in OTAs, through training camp, and in the preseason, he's making strides. We think he has the ability to be a heck of a rusher in this league, and not only that, but he's around the ball. He's around the ball in practice. Tip balls. He's just a really, really good football player. So the natural progression for him, I'm not going to put a number. Hey, he has to have this many sacks. I know we all judge those guys by that number or by that metric of sacks, but I think he's going to have a hell of a season based on what I've witnessed so far.
Isn't his position, right or wrong, it comes down to numbers? And he talked about near misses last year. Yeah. I guess the league's full of near miss guys. You need guys to finish, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. And I think he knows that. And, getting a quarterback on the ground, the great rushers have misses. It's just a matter of finishing. I don't see anything that would say to me that, hey, he's not ever going to be that type of guy. I think he's going to have a great year and show everybody, he's a great guy, first and foremost. Like, we have a lot of great men on this team, but he's about the right stuff. And I think he's going to have a hell of a year.
Thanks, Luke.
Joel?
Lou, Xavier Howard is listed as the starter on the depth chart. Do you think he can play a starter snaps right away?
Well, I think, we'll see how it goes. And, I think that he's came in great shape and, has, been away from the game for a year. You can look at that two different ways, as a veteran guy who gave his legs a year off, and then got back into it now and has been through, basically 3 weeks of training camp and a week of game prep coming up. So, we'll see how it goes. We've got a bunch of able bodies there at that position. So, we'll play it by ear.
How do you feel about Jalen Jones coming off of his hamstring injury?
Another guy that has played a bunch of snaps. We'll see how he does. He's had a good week of practice last week, so I feel like he'll be going into the game like a lot of our guys, healthy and ready to play.
Steven?
Lou, a lot of perimeter talent, for Miami. Can you just kind of tell us about that challenge, just generally, what you're facing there?
Yeah, speed, and more speed. With the featured players that they have, everybody knows Tyreek and certainly Jalen Waddle, Achane, the back. You put those three together, you got a heck of a 4x1 team. I don't care who the fourth element of it would be. They're going to be far ahead. So, they're great players. They've put up big numbers in this league. Mike does a great job calling plays and keeping you off balance with a bunch of different looks. There's a reason why they've put up the numbers they've put up in the past. So, we've got certainly a big challenge ahead.
You mentioned Xavier, not playing last year. And I don't know, maybe this is cliche, but I mean, just what do you think, or have you observed that maybe that did anything in terms of making him hungry, to want to go out there and do this?
I
this
think,
year?
he's again, like a lot of great players that have been around, they're very prideful men. And, I think that he doesn't have to do this. I think he wants to go out there and prove to himself, to whoever, he can play football and play it at a high level still.
We'll do just a few more here. James, go ahead.
Lou, what's been your impression of Travaris Ward when it comes to just his mentality? Very nice guy, I would imagine, off the field, but he walks it and he talks it as well occasionally.
Yeah, he's got great confidence as these premier corners do. He very, very smart football player. Knows really everybody's job and where they're supposed to be on the defense. Communicates great, not only before the snap, but during the snap, different pickups that we have to have. So, I didn't know that about him. You watch the tape, you see the guy from afar and you see the plays he makes. But he's a cerebral player as well as a top level talent and cover corner.
And last question, Jake.
Over the last few years, it seems like effective depth behind Grover has been kind of hard to come by. How did you guys see that race? There's a few different guys in the mix there. How did you see that all transpire, and how do you feel about that depth behind Grover and I guess Buck as well going into the season?
Yeah. Well, I just think we've got depth up front for sure with a number of different guys that we can roll through. Same thing at linebacker. It's not just one guy. We feel like we've got a few guys that can help out in different packages that we do. So, we're looking forward to playing a bunch of different people and keeping guys fresh, especially early in the year. The more you can play, I think the fresher the guys will be. Our guys have done a great job of accepting roles that we've handed out. Our defensive staff has done a great job preparing for this game and getting the guys ready. So I'm excited.
There's Lou Anarumo, and you ask him a question, you get an answer. I like Anarumo. I like that what the players say about him is that in the meeting rooms, when somebody screws up, he says, hey, you screwed up. Here's how you screwed up, and you better not do it again. This is the NFL. You have got to play the scheme, and you have got to play it correctly, and you have got to be aggressive in its execution. And if you're not, there's another guy behind you who will.